Hey, what's up, friends? It's Moses. I hope and pray that you guys are doing well. So, Trucking with Big Honey had a question for me. He wanted to know about securing our containers. He was wondering whether it's the rail that does that for us or we do it for ourselves. And I think I have a video somewhere that talks about how we secure our container onto the chassis. I don't remember exactly where it is. I don't remember the title. So what I'm going to do, I'm quickly going to show you guys how we secure our container to the chassis, just in case somebody else wants to know about that. But the way this works is, let me just start from the beginning so you guys have an idea of how this works. So we have chassis that are in the rail, and so what happens is when the train is coming, they will tell the rail drivers. There are some drivers that work in the rail. They are BNSF or they are rail drivers. They are not JB Hunt drivers. So those drivers that work in the rail will go and pick up chassis and put them alongside the tracks of the rail where they know a train is coming. And so when the train comes in, the crane operators will remove the containers from the train and put them onto the chassis. And then the rail drivers will move those loads from the rail tracks and put them into the parking spots. So when we go into the rail, we go and when we are at the kiosk will tell us exactly where our load is. And so we go to pick up that load, like you see how I do in the videos. And when we go to pick up that load, we are responsible for making sure that that container is secured onto the chassis. And the way we do that is by making sure that all the pins are locked. So let me show you exactly how that happens. Okay, so the chassis has four pins. We call them pins. And right here, if you look in here, there is a pin. This right here is called a pin. And this pin, if you look here, it can slide out like this. It can slide out like this. I don't know if you guys will be able to see, but it slides out like that and it slides in. So when this pin is out like this, if you find it here, that means it's not locked in. So that pin is not going all the way into there. I don't know if you guys can see. It's supposed to come and lock in there. So right now, this side of the container is not locked in because that pin is not in. So this container is not really locked to the chassis on this particular corner. So when we go into the rail, we have to make sure that this pin right here is locked in like that. And some drivers, what they do after they lock it, they will put a zip tie here just to make sure that this thing doesn't move, this lock. But right now it's in the locked in position. So when you look again down there, I don't know if you will be able to see, but it's right here. So it is holding the container, it's holding this container onto the chassis. So on both sides of the chassis, you have those kinds of pin that do that. Now in the back, it's a little bit different. Those pins are different. The mechanism in the back is that it's kind of like it crosses. But again, the whole point is for it to lock it in. So right now it's in the locked in position. So if I open it up like that, now it's in the open position. So what's happening right here is that if you look in there, you see right there, it's in the open position, which means that this container can come off. So to lock it, when we find it at the rail in this position and we want to lock it, we pull this up and then we are going to bring this in there. I only have one hand here. We lock it in like that. And again, if you want, you can put a zip tie in here and pass it in here to just make sure that this doesn't come out. But right now it's in the locked position. So when you look in here, you can tell it's now crossed, which means that this cannot get off because that right there is in the locked position. So you have this kind of mechanism on the other side too, and then the front, the pins, like I showed you how the pins work. So that way you know that it is locked onto the chassis. So it's our responsibility whenever we are pulling the containers to make sure that all 4 of those pins are in the locked position. So the locked position means that the container is locked onto the chassis. It won't be able to move. If those are in the open position, if you do not check to make sure that they are locked in, and then maybe like you may be making a turn, or if you are in a place that has a lot of potholes, it could technically jump out of those pins and fall off of the chassis. So it's our responsibility to make sure that they are locked. The rail doesn't do it. At least here at BNSF and at KCS here in Hazlet, in Texas, we are responsible for doing that. Now, I'm not sure if other rails in other places, if the yard drivers, the rail drivers are responsible for locking those. But I know here we are responsible for that. So whenever you are moving a container, even if I think it would be a good practice, even if you work at a rail where it's the responsibility of the rail to make sure they are locked, I think it's also your responsibility as a driver before you move that trailer, that container, that load, to make sure that your pins are locked, because again, at the end of the day, it's going to be your safety when you are out there on the road. If it falls off, it's because you did not check it. So we always have to make sure that we secure them. But that's how you do secure the container onto the chassis. So I hope that helps out. And before I forget, for those of you that want to come and join JB Hunt, whether you have experience or you don't, if you have your CDL, I encourage you to go to driversuccess.com, fill out a short form. It will come to me. I will give your information to Susan. Susan is one of the best recruiters that JB Hunt has. She will give you a call and she will see how she can hook you up, or just send me your phone number and your zip code, of course with your name. Again, I'll just ask Susan to give you a call, and that's whether you are out of a CDL school or you have experience. Susan will see if there are any opportunities in your area, and she will let you know what opportunities you have in your area. Until next time, stay blessed and stay safe. Bye-bye.